Okay, if I can have your attention, please, while you finish eating. I have been asked for some reason, I'm not quite sure, to host this evening. So I'm going to give this a shot. We'll see what happens. I told Erica earlier, I said, this is getting to be a habit. First, I'm a murderer. Now I'm a roast host. I'm getting a reputation, a murderer, then I'm Don Rickles. I have no idea. But we are here this evening to pay tribute, if you will, to Miss Lorraine Carl, a lady that I have known for, I don't know, I guess dirt was still being invented when we still started first working together. But it's nice to see her in the spotlight. Although as small as she is, you could probably use a flashlight instead of a spotlight. I'm not sure why I was asked to host, because I am not the nicest person in this room. And it's really kind of easy for me to be mean. You can stop shaking your head, Karen. Especially to Miss Lorraine. She's so nice. But I'm going to anyway. I'm going to be a little mean. So, put your seatbelt on, girl. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Do what?
I wouldn't expect anything different.
Oh. And there you have it. She wasn't expecting anything different. That should tell you something right there. I thought I'd start off tonight with some poetry that seems to fit Lorraine perfectly. How many ways do I love thee? Next poem. A rose. That didn't take long. I told you I wasn't very nice. A rose by any other name would be a thorn in my side. There once was a woman so lean, but everyone thought she was so... No, we're not going to do that one. But however, roses are red, violets are blue, and you know that we all love you. That's the only nice thing she's getting out of me. I do love Lorraine, though, but Lorraine has all the virtues I dislike and none of the vices that I admire. So it was hard for us to get along at first. I'm not sure Lorraine knew how to take me when I stepped in, but we have been working together for a very, very long time. One of the first things I'd like to do here is I have an email from Mr. Denny, and I'd like to read it. Hope I can make it through this, because I previewed it and didn't do so well. I'm mean, but I'm emotional. To Lorraine, we were so happy to hear of the special day that your church family had planned to honor you and to acknowledge the significant service you have rendered to Mims United Methodist Church. The first time Libby and I came to the church to meet the Staff Parish Relations Committee, you, of course, were at the church. And you could say we hit it off right away. There was an instant connection. You quickly became very dear to the McCullough family. As you no doubt remember and can certainly document, the first sermon that I preached at Mims was on Barabbas the Encourager. You, Lorraine, are the greatest encouraging voice that I have ever known across my entire ministry. And for that, I am truly grateful. Numerous times over the course of 5 years as your pastor, I have asked God, what did I do to deserve Lorraine? I hope everyone present today should know, knowing the quirky sense of humor and unique relationship that we shared, that prayer can be interpreted one of two ways. And we all have that kind of feeling. It's an understatement to say that the Mims Church have many unique and colorful characters. In our minds, you stand at the top of that list. There is only one Lorraine. The wide range of your service to the church is staggering. As a recovering Baptist, you actually are becoming a pretty good Methodist. We send our deepest love to you today and to all your church family that love you and care for you. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Jesus loves you, but I'm his favorite. The Lord bless you and keep you. Denny and Libby.
Oh, and hockey, of course.
Do what?
Hockey, of course, too.
Hockey.
Hockey.
Does anyone have anything that they would like to briefly say to or about Lorraine?
Really? Oh, okay.
Courtney?
I'll say something. We're over here at this table from the funeral home. Lorraine worked with us for many, many years at North Brevard Funeral Home. In fact, when I started working at the funeral home in 1997, she'd already been there for a little while. I started off just working on weekends. I think you worked every weekend with me, didn't you? She did. And Lorraine, I can tell you, she was just she was our mom, you know. She made sure we ate lunch. She had a plan for lunch every day. She'd come in with, today we're eating hot dogs, and she'd have a toaster that made hot dogs. I didn't even know. Oh, it wasn't a toaster, it was a hot dogger. That's right. You're right. It was. And Rocket broke it. But Lorraine, it's you got to be honest, it's pretty hard to roast Lorraine, right? I mean, how are you going to roast Lorraine? She's one of the sweetest people you've ever met. You all know this. I'll just tell two little funny stories. One funny story. Lorraine met the most famous person she's ever met at the funeral home. Would that be a fair assessment? We were blessed to serve the family of Faith Hill and Tim McGraw a few years ago, and if you don't know, Lorraine's a pretty big Tim McGraw fan, and having them be in the funeral home was pretty daunting for Lorraine, and she kind of froze up a little bit when they were around. She was a little bit starstruck, I would think, and after the service, Tim McGraw came into the funeral home to just sign some final paperwork and business, and Lorraine and I were the only ones there. Lorraine was at the door, and she didn't know he was coming back, and as he left, he gave her a hug and a kiss, I think, and as I walked him out the door and opened the door, I'll never forget turning back into the funeral home and seeing Lorraine just shaking. Just shaking, and I don't know if it was joy or fear or what. I've just never seen that before. Well, Lorraine, we just on behalf of everybody here at the funeral home, and I don't know if anybody else has a story. Lorraine has been an awesome. I love that they said encourager. That was an awesome. I think that's an awesome in what Denny had said. She's an amazing encourager to everyone. I don't know if I'd be in the funeral business now if she wasn't one of the first people I met in the funeral business. And I can say, having a 24/7 business, there's got to be a little bit of roast in this. There were several times where business stopped at the funeral home, and it was 100% Lorraine's fault. and it was every time there was a lizard in the building. The phone might not have got answered. Somebody might have had to drive in from home to get it out of the building, because Lorraine, if you don't know, is deathly afraid of lizards. What's that?
He caught a lizard at the front door. Guy sitting right over here. And chased me all over.
Well, Lorraine, on behalf of us, thank you. We love you, love you, love you.
Thank you, Courtney. And speaking of funeral homes, I don't know if I should tell this, but it's a little late now, so you guys just have to forgive her now. Lorraine is known a lot of times for her practical jokes. Yeah. And I think the best one she got me with was one year, I'll never forget it. It was my 40th birthday. I know, I'm over 40. I know it surprises a lot of you. But we were at bell rehearsal, and I had to leave the room for some reason. And I came back in, and somehow the whole bell choir had managed to change into black shirts. So then they asked me, could I step outside? I thought, outside the door. No, outside, where Lorraine had waiting a hearse. Then it was her big idea. Oh, let's go for a ride. It'll be fun, she said. Let's go for a ride. It'll be fun. So I and Judy Davis, I don't know how many of you remember her. She was here for quite a while as the pianist. We decided, ooh, let's make it fun. We're going to get in the back. Don't do that. There's too many rollers. You can't lay down. You can't sit down. However, you can surprise the people in the car behind you. So Lorraine decides she's going to come to a quick stop at a traffic light. Judy and I go zipping to the front of the, and as soon as she stops, we come sliding back. We both sit up, and the person behind us was surprised as hell to see somebody pop up from the back of that car. She's thinking it's hilarious. At this point, we're thinking it's hilarious as well. So then her big idea was, let's go see your mom. Don't do that to your mother. Do not pull up in front of her house in a hearse. My mother came running out of the house, both hands in the air, screaming, who is it? Who is it? And then I get out of the back. So then we have to take the hearse back to the funeral home. Folks, do not ask for an after-hours tour of the funeral home either. Lorraine knows I have this little phobia. Okay, not so little, huge. We're going through, oh, this is this room, oh, this is this room, this is this room, this is the, oh, let's go in here, you go first. I go in first, she flips on the light. I made a new door. She didn't tell me there was someone in the room.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah. So, after that, I have never trusted Lorraine again. Lorraine and I have few trust issues, but that is one of the biggest things that anybody has ever pulled on me. So, yeah, I'm surprised I made it to 41 at that point. So, moving on with Lorraine's roast, because like I said, I'm not the nicest person in the room. So, and I'm not going to say anything about Lorraine's age. Yes, I am. You know I'm going to. But you know you're getting old, Lorraine, when your back goes out more than you do. Just saying. leg, hip, back. I'm with you. And I love Lorraine, but there are a couple of things I would not ask her to help me with. One, being my getaway driver. Anybody been in the car with her? Enough said. I would not ask her to be a partner in a three-legged race with me. Not sure which one of us would fall first. Nor would I ask her to be a partner in an eating competition. Has anybody seen this woman eat?
No, not much.
Exactly. You won't see her eat. A biscuit at McDonald's can last her for 3 meals in one day. It really can. So I would never ask her to do that. She just doesn't eat, obviously. And then one of Lorraine's favorite things to do, I know, is when she goes home, she loves to watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Anybody ever hear her talk about that? But come on, Lorraine. How long can one person sleep? Really? That's what you do when you watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. She's always complaining about, I didn't see the end of the show. I didn't get the last question. Because she'll give you an answer for it. All right, anybody else have anything they would like to say about Lorraine? To Lorraine. Somebody? Anybody? Let's go. That's why we're here. Don't be shy. I had to stand up here. Let's go.
I think she's great.
Yeah, that was too nice. Moving on. Yes, ma'am.
She may not remember your name, but she will definitely remember your telephone number.
Yes.
And your birthday.
Yes. Yeah, Lorraine does have an excellent memory, thank heavens, because half the time I'm going, Lorraine, what page is Amazing Grace on? 262. Lorraine, what page is whatever hymn I'm looking for? Yeah, 570. Oh, it's 578, folks. Yeah, it's 578. So, and Lorraine has often said that she would never marry again, and even sometimes has said she has no use for a man. Until she has 5 firemen outside the door changing 1 tire on 1 car, and then she comes straightened in like a peacock. I got 5 men outside changing my tire. Let's go outside. Let's look. Let's look at the fire. That's not no use for a man, Lorraine. Uh-huh. And speaking of...
That's being smart.
Yeah.
Way to go, Lorraine.
Yeah. However, if Lorraine did find a man, and he did get down on one knee and pop the question, the second question would be, Lorraine, could you help me up? Again, not saying a thing about her age. Anybody else? Something about for Lorraine? Pastor John, I know you got to have something to say about her. I knew it. I knew it.
When we were coming to Mims, my wife reminded me we were bringing some of our family here to see the church, and of course it was not office hours. But guess who was here? So she gave us the grand tour. So she's actually pretty much the first person that we saw here. One of the first people we came in contact with, and we knew we were in a good place when we met Lorraine. Because Lorraine, you are the sweetest lady that I've known. Like that. We have this little thing that goes back and forth. We pick at each other a lot. I know she loves Denny and all the other pastors, but I would really appreciate you, and I love you a great deal. And sometimes we pick at each other, but it's always out of love. And this church would not be the same without you.
Anybody else?
I got a couple of questions for Lorraine.
Good. I hope they're barn burners. Let's go.
You know, it is rather interesting. Everybody is being pretty nice, but For those of you who know myself, I come in at weird hours, different hours. It could be 5 in the morning, could be 10 o'clock at night, stopping in doing something. Why is it, Lorraine, you're always here? I mean, always here. And when I was given the opportunity to take over trustees, which means maintaining the buildings and overseeing that sort of stuff, there's a hidden bedroom back here somewhere. I would like to know where that is publicly, because we're not getting a tax write-off, Sherry, correct? We know there's no food because the rats are running around everywhere but where Lorraine is hanging out because she's afraid of lizards. Okay, so seriously, that's one question. Then the next question is, when we were doing some work over in the parsonage remodel, those of you who were involved in it, I certainly make my mess and my dust. But she certainly wasn't having a problem about going in through the parsonage, and she's dusting. And Lorraine, don't worry about it. We got about 6 more weeks of dust. Oh no, she's grabbing Pastor Denny's clothes, and she's washing and all this. She didn't care. They were all pressed and cleaned and ready to go, hanging up the minute the man came back. So Lorraine, I give you a lot of credit on that one as far as coming to the parsonage, trying to keep the clothes clean, but with me it's a losing battle, but I do commend you. But I still want to know where the hidden bedroom is after the group. Please whisper it to somebody, because, I mean, let's face it,
we might need it.
Yeah, we might need it. Sherry wants to rent it out, apparently. Apparently we need the money, so Lorraine, come on, either, help us with the rent, share it. But appreciate everything you do for us. Thank you very, very much.
Yes.
It's tremendous.
Yeah, Lorraine does do a lot. I mean, there are times that I've come into the choir room and I can tell Lorraine's been there because things are neat and tidy and orderly, and I can't find anything. So I know she's been there. And Lorraine and I have had many conversations over the years, and one of the conversations, we just had one the other day about our lineage. I'm 62% British and Irish, 20% Northwestern European, and even 3% West African. And Lorraine is 70% British and about 30% confused. But at this point, she's less confused than I am, because I don't know what I would do without her. She does a lot of the stuff for me. I will say something just in conversation. I'll come back a couple of days later, and it's been done. It's on my desk, or it's somewhere that she'll say, "Oh, well, you don't need to do that. I've already got it." So I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I do feel bad when Lorraine is not around. Almost as bad as when she isn't. And Lorraine has certainly had her hands in a lot of pies around here. Let's just hope she leaves the recipes when she leaves, because nobody's finding anything. And we talked about it briefly earlier, how Lorraine has a photographic memory. I mean, the woman can look at something and remember it, phone numbers, addresses, ages, and all those sort of things. But the problem is she has a photographic memory, and sometimes she forgets where she's put the camera. Just saying. So let's hope she finds the camera as well as the recipes before she leaves. Anybody else for anything for Lorraine? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It's just a simple thing, and it's a nice thing. Lorraine makes sure I get an upper room every time they come out. I think she wants me to make sure that I keep up my spirituality or something, I don't know. Make sure that I get that upper room, because I missed out one time.
Uh-oh.
It's just a small thing, but it's something really appreciated.
Yeah.
Lorraine, I'd be a mess if I didn't publicly thank you. No, I'm going to be good. I can't say anything bad about you. But I do thank you so much for what you do to help me she and my husband have a deal. He tries to keep me going in the right direction at home, and she's doing the same thing at church. And she's doing a super job. And I come in, and as the program for the Sunday morning and all the hymns right in order, it's pretty hard to make mistakes, but I do manage anyway. Thank you so much. You've been wonderful to me. Really appreciate you.
It's a pleasure to work with you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
Roy, can I ask, how long have you been here, Lorraine, at this church?
I came in January of 1988, and then I joined in July.
Awesome.
Brother Ray Sharp was here.
20 years, yes. 30 years. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, she's been here almost as long as I've been alive.
I was just here yesterday and told her that page 2 was missing out of the anthem that we're going to be doing, and so she just gave me a whole book. And I never have to worry about my book being done, because she does it all the time. And I am very confused with it anyhow.
Yeah, you don't have to, because she's always checking the books. Does everybody have this? Does everybody have that? And I keep trying to tell her, Lorraine, that's why the music is out. Let them, here's their list, let them get, She doesn't trust anybody to get their own book right, so. And Lorraine isn't a mean person. She's never killed anyone until after tonight. But she has read many obituaries with great pleasure. So she just waits till they're gone. We love Lorraine, and we would follow her anywhere, mainly out of curiosity, because you never know where this woman's going to end up. I have always threatened to put a cowbell on her. Because I'm telling you, you walk with her and you feel like you're never going to get there. But you leave this woman alone for 2 seconds, and she has hauled it to somewhere else, and you can't find her.
That's because she found the bedroom, the hidden bedroom.
Yeah, that I don't doubt. And I always thought that Lorraine should run for administrative council chairman. I mean, not only does she know everything that goes on in this church, but she'd be pretty good at it. She's a good organizer. The only problem is I can't picture Lorraine running anywhere at all. So that might not be the best position for you. So anybody have anything else for Lorraine?
Yes.
Roy?
Yes.
As Tom said, yeah, we have a couple of nicknames for Lorraine. One is the Phantom, because we know she has somewhere here a hidden place. The other thing, Skip and I hear a lot, and it's like, her other nickname is Columbo. Skip and I are ready to leave to go do something with Bill. One more thing.
So that's how she gets everything done. After she says, I'll do that for you, Roy, you just go ahead. Then I leave it and she gives it to somebody else. That's what happens. Skip, did you have something?
What Bill just said is true, every day. Will you do something for me? Eric and I came here 13 years ago.
Kiss her now.
Yeah. Be nice now.
And I went to work right away for North Boulevard Funeral Home.
And I thought I was emotional.
I took a lesson.
Maybe I'm just mean.
I took lessons from Denny. But she was the secretary on weekends, and David and her belonged to this church at the time, and she kept telling, you got to come to Mims Methodist, you got to come to Mims United Methodist. And we visited all the Methodist churches in the area, but she kept saying, you got to come. We came, and here we are, we stayed. So.
We're happy.
I have been coming to this church since 1968. I have been directing the choir since 1970, off and on. I mean, I left to go to school, left for the Navy, came back, left to finish school, that kind of thing, and off and on. And I guess it was around 88 or 89 that I made my second appearance. I had just gotten back from the Navy, and Lorraine was here, Judy was here, and we kind of formed the Three Musketeers because we worked so closely together. And Lorraine and I have continued to work together. I did leave one more time to go finish my special ed degree so I could work with those lovely children that I work with. But I'm not here to roast them. But I could. A lot. But when I got back in 1989, I feel like Skip. When I got back in around, it was 88 or 89, Lorraine was here. Judy was here. And it was really wonderful to come back, to have somebody to work with that got your sense of humor. Because I can be a little sarcastic. I can be a little mean. I can be a little hateful. But I'm not sure. That might be why I was asked to do this tonight. I don't know. And Eric is probably hiding somewhere going, why did I ask him? But I just wanted to say, Lorraine, that I've had a perfectly wonderful evening tonight. This wasn't it, but I've had one before. But I just wanted to say thank you. I love you. And we got a lot more years to go together.
Yes.